This is Fifth Wrath, an Alex Quinn mystery, Book 5, written by Rylie Dark, read by Caroline. Prologue. It was quiet in the old library. The snow pelting against the old glass panes of the windows laid a thick hush over everything, and even the creaking groans of the great dragon-like furnace beneath the building seemed muted and docile. In a cosy alcove on the second floor of the library, a lamp glowed on the wrinkled old face of Professor Harland Umber. The long-tenured professor of Western literature cooed to himself, murmuring passages of Yeats aloud under his breath. The university library, while never truly closed, was practically vacant in the long, late hours of the dark winter night. Still, Professor Umber kept his voice low as he muttered through the old poetry. It was, after all, still the library. Once more the storm is howling, and half hid, under this cradle-hood and coverlid. My child sleeps on. There is no obstacle. But Gregory's wood and one bare hill. Out of the corner of his eye, Professor Umber saw a flash of movement. It was little more than a glancing shadow in his peripheral vision. He looked around, glancing over the heavy tortoiseshell frames of his glasses. Seeing nothing, his eyes drifted back to Yeats. His lips moved with his quiet susurruses. Whereby the haystack and roof-levelling wind, bred on the Atlantic, can be stayed, and for an hour I walked and prayed, because of the great gloom that is in my mind. There it was again. The professor looked up sharply, bringing his palms down with a slap on either side of the dusty tome on the table before him. He was certain he'd seen somebody moving just off the left side of his visual sphere. He turned his head, but the lights of the other reading alcoves and balcony-style hallway that ran around the second floor of the library were all turned out. Down below, the light of the checkout desk still glowed like a warm yellow beacon, but the rest of the building was dim. The night librarian had gone on her break 15 minutes ago. Clearing his throat nervously, the elderly professor half rose from his seat in the alcove, supporting himself with both hands on the wooden tabletop. The old, resin-polished surface felt soft and familiar under his palms. He took a deep breath, casting his anxious glance around the shadowy corners. The scent of the old books that filled the shelves all around him suddenly stood out sharply, although the smell had not changed in decades. The professor felt his heart pounding like a marching drum in his temples, his blood ice cold in his veins, his
Sample complete. Ready to continue?